All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's webinar. Glad to see so many of you here. I'm here, Richard Fairbairn, with my good friend and business partner Paul Okeffe. If you want to say hi, Paul.
Hi guys, if you'd just like to drop a 1 into the chat box so we can see that you can actually hear us this week, that'd be great. Yep, we've got Mark, Steve, Barb, Theodora, Joy, Javier, Bruce, great stuff. Lots of people on the call this week, that's really good.
Okay, excellent. So we've had lots and lots of support, queries, lots of questions coming into us this week, all regarding Pixel. So many people out there using it this last few weeks. It's been amazing. And we've got so much good feedback. There's a lot of things people want me to go over, but this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to concentrate on the overlay system. So before I start on that, if there's any questions that, people desperately want to ask, if they can't stay to the end or anything like that, ask them now, or I'm going to start on the overlay system.
Yeah, and what we'll do with the questions, if there's a lot that come in, what we'll do is we kind of stack them up and we'll try and answer them the following weeks if we don't get around to answering it tonight.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll try and fend off as many questions privately as I can. But
yeah, what I'll do is I'll get going, and if there does any come in, let me know. So last week,
great.
If you missed last week's webinar, it's in the tutorial area of Pixel. To find that, all you need to do is come to resources. You'll find the webinar there. This webinar will be in there as well. So make sure, obviously, if you're pay for in-depth training, make sure you look in there because that's where you'll find it's tied to you. So last week we talked about, we went over the system in brief kind of thing, but what we're going to do this week is we're going to cover the overlay system. As I said, we've got a lot of people. All right, I forgot to show my screen. Can everybody see my screen before I get going? Just give me a 1 if you can see it. Yes. Great. Okay, so last week, as I said, we just give like an overview of the system. A lot of people have been asking about the overlay links. Now, the overlay links is, if anybody's ever heard of an older app that we had, it's actually our best-selling app. It's called ClickSit. And what we did is we built ClickSit directly into Pixel. Now, ClickSit, what it did, it overlaid authority content. We were kind of I think we were the first in our market to push something like this to the marketplace. We had a lot of people follow up with it afterwards. Other people but did a similar type of software. So what you can do is you can overlay authority links with, like message boxes and things like that. With Pixel, we took it one step further. So with Pixel, you can build amazing interactive graphics. Some of the graphics that people have been building and sharing with me in the support desk, it's literally blown me away. Some really, really amazing stuff. So you imagine building something, that kind of makes people click, then overlaying that on a piece of content, an authority content, then being able to share that authority content, how much your clicks, your engagement are going to go up. So first and foremost, I'm going to show you where the overlay system is. Now, the overlay system it's in all graphics. All you need to do is come to any of the graphics, any campaign you have running, you'll find the link overlay system. So the link overlay system is here. So all you need to do is click. Now, all you need to do is add the URL in that you want to overlay. Now, we briefly talked about this last week, and we did say that obviously some sites, in their terms and conditions, they don't want you to overlay. You're breaking the terms and conditions. We're not a black hat site. We want to stay within, the white hat area of the internet marketing. We want you guys to as well. Best place to be. So what we did is we built into this system that you can't overlay sites that don't want you to overlay them. So then you're staying within the terms and service, staying within the law, everything else, nothing can have any problems. Now, if you try and overlay a site that doesn't want you to overlay it, it will give you a warning message that says this site can't be overlaid. So we're not going to allow that, then you to get that link kind of thing. So all you need to do is put a link in here. So for example, what you do is, let's find, let's go for an article by Tony Robbins. Let's find something. Let's try this one. May be able to overlay, you may not. Accomplish more daily. So, for example, if I can take this article, come back to Pixel, I can put it in here. Now I don't know what this banner is, so it's just going to be overlaying some kind of test banner I've built. But you're going to get the picture by what you can do. You choose where that banner you want it overlaid. You can have it at the center top, center bottom, left, right, bottom, left, right, top. Now, I always advise you to do either center top or center bottom. Definitely center top if it's like kind of on your desktop. Center bottom if you're overlaying mobile content. I'm going to talk about mobile content in a minute, because there's one thing a lot of people don't know about this overlay system, and I'm going to tell you it's going to be something you should be getting quite excited about. So I'm going to do center top, and we're going to have it activate on load. Now, we are adding some more drop downs here. They should be ready by the beginning of September. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a delay. So you can delay it, or you can do it as they exit. For the moment, it's only when you load. So if you save that, let's see if you can overlay this piece of content. Yep, there we go. So it's given me the link. So all I need to do is copy that link. If I paste that there. Now this is the banner I made. It's obviously just a test banner. So you imagine if you had a really good banner here, one of our drop-down banners, or banner all about entrepreneurs making money online, etc., then you imagine how many more clicks that's going to get. Now, they can still read the article, everything's exactly the same, but the only thing they see is your banner when it comes in. Now, which is great. Now, what I was talking about with mobile content, when you come to our premium templates, you'll notice a lot of them are mobile ready. So that means they are responsive to mobile sites. Now, this is one thing that a lot of people don't know who are using Pixel, sorry, getting muddled up there, who are using Pixel, but you guys in the call are going to know it, and you should be able to make, real good money with this. For example, here, if you could take a look at this diet anchor banner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that, and I'm going to save it as mobile. And I'm going to use that thumbnail. And what this is an anchor banner. So what it does, it anchors to the size of a mobile screen. So let's go back to the templates, go to all graphics. You should see that mobile, there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a campaign. I'm going to call it mobile test. Create campaign. Where are we? Here we are. I'm going to activate that banner. And you see that link overlay. Now, what this banner is, I can't show you obviously because it's on a mobile screen, but this banner will anchor itself to the size of the screen. So imagine, there's two different sizes, for example, in iPhones. You've got the larger iPhone, the smaller iPhone. Now, if this banner is outside the size of the smaller one, it'll anchor itself to the screen, so it'll fit on the screen perfectly. Now, the one thing that I don't know of an overlay system that works like this. So with this site, you can actually overlay mobile content. So what that means is, the one I just picked up there was about dieting. So let's go back to Google. Right. Let's find a good diet site, mobile. Go the Atkins diet. It's using cookies, so start your day. Let's go with this one. Now, put that there. We'll go with centre bottom. As I said, if you overlay in mobile content, always make sure it goes to the bottom of the screen. The simple reason being, everybody's hands, if you ever use a mobile yourself, your hands are always at the bottom of the screen. They're never at the top. So it's easier to reach for a bottom banner than it is for a top banner. So let's see if this will overlay. There we go. Now it's going to look horrible on this side because you can't see the effect of what this is going to do. Okay, for some reason that's not letting you overlay it, even though it said it is. Let's use a different one. Celebrity Slim, see if this will. It may be. Oh yeah, of course. It's not going to show on a mobile on a desktop. It needs to be on a mobile device. Sorry, I can't. There's no real way for me to show you this unless I can do some kind of simulation. Let's have a look, see if I can do this. So let's say iPhone 5. Okay, it's not working in that. Let's try this one. It's not working on that either. So we need some kind of simulator that's going to show an overlay. Maybe this one. Right. No, for some reason it's not working on these emulators. Now, but if you try this on a normal mobile device, then it works absolutely perfectly. It locks.
I'm just thinking, Rich, if you actually drop the URL into the chat, people could actually just go and test it themselves on the phone after the webinar.
All right. Right. So what I'll do is I'll drop that there, and then you. Right. For some reason it's not letting me. I can't send.
Okay, well, I've got whilst you're doing that, I've got Mark is having problems viewing your screen. I don't know if anyone else is having any issues, but he's saying that the pictures are okay, but the side screen, the print, and the cursor are both tiny, and with you moving fast, you can't follow any of it. But I haven't got anyone else that's saying they're having problems. Just what are you actually watching the webinar on, Mark? What machine are you using? If you don't mind telling us. Yeah, we've got lots of people dropping into the chat now saying that they're not having any issues either. So we'll try and work out what could be the problem that you're having, Mark. So if you can just let us know what you're using. A laptop with 20-inch screen.
I've just sent you that message, the link on private. So if you can send it to everybody. For some reason, it won't let me send everybody a message. I don't know why.
Okay, I'll have a look at that. No problem.
I mean, what I can try and do is I can try and make my cursor bigger. I tried last week. I forgot I could have maybe done that this week.
Yeah, we've had there's only been 2 people that have been having issues. Everyone else seems to be all right, I think.
Okay, I'll try and slow my cursor down a little bit. I'll try and find a way to make it bigger next week. It's just, I mean, I've got a huge desktop, so maybe that's why it looks a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so if everybody, when you go away from here, you paste that link into your mobile phone browser, you'll see how amazing that actually does look. Obviously, because it's an overlaid link on an emulator, it's not working correctly. But once you put it into a mobile browser, it'll work absolutely perfect. We've been testing this to death. Now, the one thing that, as I said, a lot of people don't know is this how well this works on mobile devices. And the great thing about it is, if you share a site that is not responsive, so that means it's not built for a mobile device, our banners remain responsive. So if you share a piece of content on Facebook and you've got a lot of people viewing it and that site is non-responsive, it looks horrible on a mobile device, but our banner will stay responsive, it'll stay locked in, it's an anchor banner, so it'll stay locked in directly into the bottom and they'll see a perfect kind of banner. So a lot of people have been asking me how, to get the most from this link overlay, how to make the most money from it, etc. Well, a quick and really easy way to do this is first find some authority content in your niche, just like that. You can find lots of different diet sites, different diet recipes, all that kind of stuff. Just same as a Tony Robbins, you find lots of stuff about entrepreneurs, things like that. You find it in every single niche has some kind of authority figure, and that people share the content because they want to see it. So if, for example, if you had a Facebook page, I've got one in survival. I find an authority figure in that. It could be some, Bear Grylls, whatever. Great piece of content by him. Overlay it with one of my products. Could be a info product, or it could be one of my physical products. Then I start sharing that to my Facebook audience, my Facebook page. Sorry, I can even boost that post to that audience. So once that Facebook audience, who are all into survival, starts liking it, starts sharing it, you kind of get that viral traffic. So what's happening is people are sharing this content that you've not had to write. They're liking it, etc. But over that content is always a banner or a link to your site. Now, the thing with this kind of content is, and with Pixel, you can do so many amazing things, is that you can kind of really turn this around. So, for example, if I picked up Bear Grylls might be doing a review of survival knives. Now, what I could do is I could overlay it with a live banner from Pixel, and that live banner could have direct links to my Shopify site, or it could even have Shopify products built into the banner, and it could say right at the top of the banner, recommended here, get so much % off. So anybody who's reading that content automatically assumes, rightly or wrongly, that Bear Grylls is recommending that knife. As long as you don't put Bear Grylls recommended this knife, you're quite all right. So because Pixel, you can do, like as I said, so many amazing things. You can embed your Shopify buttons in. You can embed live Shopify sites in there, live Shopify products that you don't even really need to showcase your products very well, because you don't need to send from your banner to your landing page, and from your landing page to your product review, and then onto your sales, your payment carts, etc. You can do all your selling from the banner itself. So what you're doing is you can use authority of the page to drive the traffic. You can use the banner to sell the product that you're showcasing, and you can link directly to the Shopify cart from your banner. So you're bypassing all those steps that people can lose interest in, back off, etc. Now, the other way to use it is to find a piece of content that's already gone viral. I see them all the time on Facebook, people sharing. It might have had 100,000, 200,000 views. That content is viral content. People are enjoying sharing it, they're enjoying viewing it. So all you need to do on that is create something like a CPA offer or whatever you wanted. Create an amazing banner with Pixel, make it so people can't help but click it. Overlay the viral content with it. So you take that piece of content, overlay it with your Pixel overlay, create your banner, start sharing it again. You know that content is viral content. You know it's being shared, so you know it'll continue to be shared. And then once you start sharing it with your links, it's gonna every time somebody shares it again and again and again, it's gonna have your links at the top of it. So you're kind of making money by sharing other people sharing your content. So you can't really lose on that. So a couple of people have been asking about the link overlay, and they've been asking, can we change the pixel link? Now we are doing that. What we're going to do is we're going to allow you to add your own domains into Pixel, and you're going to be able to. I think you're going to be able to add 3 in altogether, and you can choose from those 3 links. So nobody will ever see the Pixel link; they'll only ever see your shared link.
So, Richard, just going to jump in here. We've got quite a few sort of questions coming in. A couple of people saying that the site that you shared there just has the overlay is working fine, but there's nothing on the actual site. So what I'd just sort of say to guys is basically just go in and test it yourself with what Richard's shown you there, and just create one and do it yourself. It could be that the site Richard's just picked there is just not allowing it to show its content, so that could be the issue. You'd have to just test it on different sites. Like Richard said, there is a 5% of sites that don't actually show up properly. Message from Karen. She says, so are you saying you make an ad for a mobile site, and like the phone, it will work on any website you put it on? How long will it stay there?
So it'll stay. Anybody shares it.
Yeah, I mean, once you create the link, Karen, I mean, if I'm understanding what your questions mean here, is once you make that link, it's going to stay there forever unless you delete it from within your Pixel dashboard. Another one is from Rod here. It says, can it be used for Amazon affiliate products? Yep, you could drop an Amazon affiliate link onto the banner.
Yeah.
And when you're sharing that, if it's going viral, then people will be clicking through to whatever offer it is you've got.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of people saying that the link's not working. Jerry says that why does the correspondence all come from Chris Jenkins? From next week, it won't be. It's just that we've been using Chris's account because he has a grandfathered account, which allows us to get a lot of people onto the call. So he was actually our partner on the launch, the JV partner. So we've been using his GoToWebinar account, but we will actually start using our own next week.
Yeah, from next week, it'll just come from kind of Richard and Paul.
Yeah, and Karen is saying, can you use Facebook links? Can you just clarify what you actually mean with that, Karen, please?
If you mean overlaying overlaying Facebook itself, no, they don't allow overlays. If you're meaning, can you overlay a piece of content and share it on Facebook? Yeah, that's not a problem. But if it's not, answer, just let us know.
Chuck saying it would confuse everyone if Chris came on the call and used his own name. Yep, it would, Chuck. But no, hopefully from next week, me and Richard are looking at getting our own account sorted out. So Ken is saying Facebook link share okay.
Yeah, you can share that on Facebook. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
As I said, you will see the Pixel link at the moment. As soon as we add this for your own custom domains, you will see the domain that you're sharing then. So if you want to, I don't know, it could be funnyvideos.com. When you share it on Facebook, you'll actually see funny videos. So if you're sharing like a funny video, a viral video from one of those sites, if you overlay it with your funnyvideos.com, they'll see funnyvideos.com. So not only are you kind of driving viral traffic to your whatever offer, CPAF or whatever you've got on there, you're also kind of going to be getting your domain out there that recognised as well, because people's going to be sharing that content. They're going to be seeing funnyvideos.com.
Okay, that's great. I think we've got through all the questions now. We've answered quite a lot of these privately as well. So we're caught up with the questions now.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to show this. I did this one salespeople were added very late on, so a lot of people missed this. If you can see, this is actually the banner I just tried to do on the other site. As Paul said, that was the site was probably it was blocking you from sharing it. You will find that, like Paul says, probably 5 to 7% of sites don't allow you to share them. You just got to keep searching for one that does. Once you find one, then everything's good. Mostly sites like PayPal, Facebook, the kind of secure sites that don't allow to be shared, and anything that says make sure like you kind of click here for your cookie message and all that kind of stuff, you can't actually overlay on those sites. But these are two sites that I overlaid the mobile lock banner on. Now you can see one on the left. Now the left, as I said, is a non-responsive site. You can see how it all goes out of frame. It looks horrible. But you can see our banner is locked to the bottom. And you see this is what I was talking about when you're actually on a phone, you're on this section of the phone. If you can see my cursor, sorry if you can't, at the bottom of the phone. So your thumb, your fingers are always close to that banner. Now if it was at the top, it's just a little bit farther away. Now you can see this is a responsive site. You can see how amazing the banner looks on there. So if you imagine sharing something like this on Facebook, lose weight, etc., the one thing probably they're going to click on is your banner, not anywhere on the site. So you can see how great these banners look. So there's lots and lots of ways to utilize this and make money with them. Now, with me, where I'm going to be looking, I'm definitely going to be looking at the mobile sites, because if you look at Facebook, I can't remember the exact figures off the top of my head, but the percentage of people who use Facebook on a mobile against people who use Facebook on a desktop or on a laptop is much, much higher. So you've got an amazing advantage of people who are doing this kind of marketing but using other overlay systems because it just won't work. So they're going to probably lose probably, I can't remember exact figures, maybe 60-40, something like that. 60% of the visitors who are using mobile sites aren't going to see their ads, where if you're overlaying with our system and using these ads, you're going to pick those 60% back up. So
we've got a couple more questions coming, Richard. So Anthony's saying, can we use overlays on YouTube videos?
No, because YouTube, again, is a secure site, so it's not possible. You could put a YouTube, if somebody's got a YouTube video on their site, you can overlay that, but you can't overlay YouTube videos direct.
Yeah. And John is asking, does the overlay stay visible all the time, or can it be on a timer?
Yeah, we are going to, sorry, I just keep drinking the water. We are going to, as I said, we are going to add a timer in there. So what you can do is you can show it, you'll be able to show it appear after, say, 5 seconds and disappear after 30 seconds or whatever. You're also going to be able to show it, for example, on this site here, they came to the site, if they closed it off, you could pop your banner on it. Or if they went to another place, you can pop your banner. So it'll act like a pop-up. That's going to be done over the next 3 weeks. We need to do a little bit of adjustments in the back end to get them 2 sections in there.
Yeah, and I'd just like to sort of point out as well, if people have any requests that they'd like to see in the app, we are always looking for feedback from you guys as well as to what you'd like to actually see in it. If you've seen something cool somewhere else and you want us to look at bringing it into the application, then we're always open to looking at suggestions for other things.
Yeah, that we are. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who've come to us over this last week, 2 weeks, and they've come with suggestions that we're already starting to build into the app now. So we do listen to people. So if you've got anything, hit us up. We'll build it in, not a problem.
Yeah. What Paulo saying? Doesn't Valido overlay YouTube videos?
Yeah,
it does, but yeah, it's I think what we're trying to talk about here was Pixel, and you can't use Pixel to actually overlay YouTube itself, but you can overlay a site that has a YouTube video on, if that makes any sense.
I mean, also you can, if you're wanting to create just like overlay links on YouTube videos and sharing YouTube videos, you can create as long as you can drag the YouTube videos into Pixel, then create a banner that goes over the top and share the YouTube video like that. You can easily do that. You can actually share the original video.
Yeah. Anthony's saying, please also add the ability to display the article image when we share it on sites. This is great for sites like Google+. I think that's something. I mean, we did do that with clicks.
Yeah,
So that we should be getting that functionality moved across.
yeah. Everything that's in what is in clicks will be coming over here. It's going to take a little bit of time to get everything working because I mean we've got two different systems that's kind of being merged together. It's very, very complicated. But yeah, everything that's in clicks will be coming across the Pixel.
Okay. Arthur says he'd like us to get a North American accent. I'm sorry, we've both got North English accents, so I'm a bit far away from a North American accent, I'm afraid. A couple of people share me back the link, saying it's not working. Yeah, I'm sorry, Karen. The one that Richard did, he picked a site that actually it wasn't going to display it. So what I basically said before is if you just go and try it yourselves and look at it, you will be able to get it to work, and you'll see exactly what Richard was trying to describe there. I'm sorry that the site you picked there just
yeah. If you come to this one, this Nutra system, find that. If you Google that, that'll overlay perfectly because this is where I shot these two from.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Gary's saying the overlays are animated.
Yeah, you can do whatever you can do in Pixel. You can put on the overlay, so you could even add a video on there. You can add a Skype button on there if you want to. You could overlay with a live Skype button, where if you
for like a local business, you could actually overlay one of the geolocation maps and show like where the person was who was actually looking at the site, and then drop a live Skype button in there for the local business.
You can do anything at all. Pixel is kind of really, really versatile. It's as far as your imagination can go. You can drag and drop anything into it, any kind of embed code. So you can overlay virtually anything onto it.
I mean, the best way to describe it is anything that you can actually, if you think the way you should think about it is anything you can actually embed onto a website, you can actually put into any of the overlays.
Yeah.
We've got Anthony saying, are we still able to use Clixit or only Pixel Evolution from now on?
If you're using both systems, I would use Pixel. Clicks is an older system. We are really going to be updating that system. Everything Clicks is going to be pulled across here, and we are going to be putting some loads and loads of new features in there. So I would use Pixel if you're wanting to build up make money by overlaying.
Yeah. Okay, I've got caught up now again with the questions.
Okay, so nothing else to be talked about by your overlays?
We'll just put that out to anyone. So if anyone has any more questions relating to the overlay system, now would be a good time to drop them in here. I think we've answered most of them, to be honest with you.
Okay, cool. Right, the next thing that people were asking about is the agency system. It's called the agency system, but in Pixel it's a little bit confused. It's called the clients, and that's here. Now, I'm just going to move this out of the way so I can see. Now, the client system. And what this does, it allows you to resell any banner that you create. It allows you to do marketing for your clients. I'm going to show you exactly how it works now. So, for example, let's put a client in. Let's call him Ted. Let's pick up use one of my emails. It's Byron Science.com. So I'm just going to set up a test site. I'm going to use these details. In fact, I'll use that TED one too, then I'll remember it. So to add your client, all you need to do, add the name in, add their email in, choose a password, hit submit. No. Well, we would if it were in. Right. For some reason, it's my back end email is already in there, so you can see I've used it on Alex when I've been testing it. I didn't realise. So pick up the name, pick up their email, pick up the password. So who would a client be? A client would be, you may be a local coffee shop who wants, some banners creating. Ted could own a restaurant who wants some banners creating or graphics creating, some ads doing, etc. So all you need to do then is you've got Ted, Tech Inspire Soft, Ted12 is his password. So you've created, let's create a graphic for Ted. Right, graphic creator. Let's just use something on here. What do we say? We're a restaurant. Let's find a restaurant. Now, also now we're going to have a search criteria because the tags are there's so many tags now, it's just so hard to find things. So what we're going to do is we're going to have there we go, restaurant. We're going to have a search on so you can search in what kind of niche you want. So let's use this template for Ted. Looks nice, so we change this to fit whatever you want. So this might be. So let's say we built this for Ted's restaurant. Sorry. Right, let's go back. Oh, graphics. So let's find Ted's. I've just created. It's logged me out before I got to it. Let's go back to our graphics. Show. Use this one. Use template. See what it looks like. Yep. So I'm going to publish that. So we're going to create a campaign and we're going to call that Ted's for Ted's Restaurant. Create campaign. So we're going to make it active. So you've made him a banner there. Now what you need to do then is Ted has a separate login, a separate section to come to. So what you do is you give him this, it's client.pixel.io.login. And what he can come here and he can see any campaigns that you create for him. So for example, what you can do then is go back to your client. So let's see, here's Ted. So we edit him. And what we do is we select a campaign for him to use. So obviously I've called this Ted's. Add that there. Approve access. So now whenever Ted logs in to see any banners that you're creating him, he'll see Ted's there. So what you can do is you can create banners, add graphics, whatever you want for your client. They can download them. They can get the embed code. They can use the embed overlay, and they can even use the link overlay as well. They've got a full analytics system in there. Obviously, there's no clicks on this because I've just created it.
Just while you're logging back in again there, Richard, we kind of answered a couple of questions there by what you showed. Anthony was asking, can clients edit the templates or only log in and access the templates to download them?
No.
So yeah, basically what you just said.
How we built this is we wanted to be able to give you kind of an advantage to be able to sell this, because
Sorry, Richard, can you just move near to your mic? You've moved away from the mic. I can't hear you then.
I'm right in front of it now. Can you hear me now?
It's very quiet again.
Just let me turn this up a little bit. Is that any better?
Yeah, It's a little bit better.
Let me try it. I'm just going to turn volume up, see if I... Is that any better?
Yeah, much better. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. I've just realized, because obviously I've just moved offices and I think the volume must have been knocked down as I've been moving it. Yeah, so what we wanted to do was create a system where you could, like, obviously charge for the banners, charge for doing campaigns for people, doing their advertising, all that kind of stuff. Because obviously, when Ted logs in, all he'll see is his banners. If you're creating banners for Mike as well, who owns a dry cleaners or whatever, Ted will only see his banners, he won't see Mike's. So each client you have has their own back-end system to log into. And for example, then if Ted stops paying you for your banners, you can just disable them here. So you can just delete it there and the banner will disappear from there and you won't have, be able to carry on using them until he starts paying you again. So you can download them. You could download them in JPEGs, PNG, GIF, HTML5, MP4, just like you can. You can use the embed code. You can use the link embed overlay and the link overlay. Now, what we're going to be doing is, and what we're going to help people to do who's using this agency system, is kind of be able to sell these to local businesses, because really this is the best way that you're going to get money out of this kind of agency system. Now, I could think of probably 30, 40 businesses in this area that I could go to and say that I could make online ads for. And to be able to give them their own back-end system, so I can log in, download the banners, even say, look, this is not right, change this. You can change it from your office, instantly push the update, and Ted will be able to see the update, for example, 2 seconds later, as soon as you pushed it out. So it's a real powerful system, and we do want to add more into this, but I'm not, neither myself or Paul, are real big local marketers. So what we're going to be doing is dipping into some kind of knowledge base, from other people and bringing that in. But if any of you guys are big local marketers and do obviously want to do, make more with this side of it, we want to get some suggestions what you'd like to see in here. For example, rebranding it. Do you want to rebrand it with your own logo? Would that help?
That's a good point, actually, Richard. There's quite a lot of questions coming in, and one of the questions from, I just have to scroll back, sorry. Omar says, can we change the URL or the logo, or would it always show pixel? So that's just basically what Richard's saying in now.
Also with the URL, when we add the custom domain in, all this will be customizable. So rather than saying client.pixel.io, if you're called onlineweb.com, it'll show client@onlineweb.com.
Yeah. And a question from Fabrice. He says, is it legal to overlay any site such as BBC in terms of copyright? Well, the way it works is almost like it's like an iframing, isn't it, Richard? So there's not been any issues in the 11,000 users we've had previously.
We've been running ClickSit since early 2015, so over 2 years. Like Paul says, over 11,000 users. We've never had one issue ever. There's two very, very large sites, one called Snipply, one called Opener. They do the exactly same thing, and most of the large companies in the world use those two products. So there's no legal issues at all. As long as you're not overlaying sites that don't want to be overlaid, that are blocking iframe, then you are in a grey area. So that's why we like to stay away. We make sure our app's, totally white hat, stays within the law, etc.
Yeah. Question from Laurie. Laurie says, is there any reason to keep using the original Pixel software? Well, everything that was in the original software has actually been migrated into the new system. So I personally, there's no reason to keep using the original one if you've got both.
No, if you've got both, just use Pixel Evolution.
Yeah. Anthony's saying, I think this client's interface is great, very useful, will save a lot of time in terms of overall management, very professional. Thanks for that, Anthony.
Yeah, thank you.
Paolo is saying, The banners code released to clients will only work until we keep them active in our backend, right? Regardless of the client access to the system.
Yep. So, for example, if you can see here, Ted's, right, delete him off. Nice. A couple of seconds for it to go away. If I come back here, reload this, you see Ted's has gone. So it disappears. So you have overall control of everything that you push out. So if you've got a client and you're charging him monthly to keep updating his banners and building, when he stops paying for them, all you need to do is click delete and he loses access.
Okay. A few more questions to go through. There's quite a lot stacking up now. I've been trying to fend them off as fast as I can, but it's quite a lot. Anthony saying, once we create a client login, will it send an automatic email or do we need to send this out manually?
No, you need to send it out manually. This is kind of like our agency version works. It's kind of your relationship with that client. So you need to create it for him and say, like, kind of send him out an email and say, look, here's your details. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is how you can, etc.
Gary saying, do you have any animated ads promoting this system? Not 100% certain what you actually mean. If you could just elaborate on that a little bit, Gary, please. We'll take that question. Paolo said, in other words, client access is different from banner availability that we can control.
I'm not sure. Sorry.
Well, I mean, you have total control of it, Paolo. That's the basis of it. I mean, you can control which campaigns they get to see. You can add in and take out to your heart's content, basically. So you have total control of it.
Yeah, and as you saw then, it's kind of instant. So if you create something over here and you were on the phone to Ted and you said, I've just created your banner, log in, are you on the site? The instant you push it from here, it appears here on his site. So it's instantaneous.
Okay, Anthony saying yes, being able to rebrand would be great. Arthur is saying a simple question. When you download the banner, where does it go?
It goes directly onto your site. It goes into your, depends on what kind of computer you're using. If you're using a Mac, it goes into your downloads. A PC, it goes into whatever folder you've set for your download section.
Yeah, it gets downloaded to your local machine, Arthur. Then you need to then upload it from there. Javier is saying, what about reselling and rebranding? I have the rebranding rights. I'm also part of the preferred partners, so I can sell the access to Pixel, not as a client, but as a purchaser of my rebranded app. Is that right?
You can't actually rebrand the app. You can't sell and rebrand the app. That's not possible. You can resell Pixel, but you can't sell. You can't call it best graphics app and sell that. You've got to sell because you're selling it a resale rights. You can only sell it as Pixel.
Yeah, you're selling it as actually Pixel itself, but you do get to keep the money you bring in from that.
You can rebrand the client. You will be able to rebrand the client side.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony's saying, how do we manage lost or reset passwords for clients? You just have total control over that. So as Richard shows you there in that screen, it's just a very simple screen. You can just go in and you're the one who would actually control that for your clients.
All you do.
I mean, personally, I just keep a log, keep even a spreadsheet of it, and all the people you set up, so you know what they are.
Yeah, but you can just come in and edit them. It's fine.
Yeah. Mario is saying, is it possible to make an opt-in banner? Absolutely, no problem.
With an opt-in banner, it's really, really easy, but it works on the embed system. I can quickly show you that now. 2 seconds. Just give me a second and I'll show you exactly where that is.
Okay, Gary's elaborated on what he said before. Earlier he said, do you have any animated ads promoting the system? And he said, no, he builds websites, so he needs to attract advertisers.
Yeah, I've actually yesterday just got a whole bunch of banners back from my graphics guy. So if you open a support ticket, I can send you that across, not a problem.
Yeah.
So to embed a form in, all you need to do is come to graphics editor. If you do here the drop down section, come to embed, just move this out of the way, all you need to do is embed the autoresponder code there, and that will show the form on the banner. And it works exactly like an autoresponder saying get response. You'll see the name, email, and login opt-in button there. That's all it is. So
Okay.
it's insert embed.
Benji is saying, is there a list of sites that we should avoid to install the overlays, or is there criteria or a way to identify sites to avoid? Personally, Benjamin, what I would do, I would just keep a log myself. I just keep everything in like a Google sheet or something. And as I go along, any sites that I come across that it doesn't work for, I just have a list of those and I have a list of sites that it does work on, and I will just keep updating that spreadsheet and maintain it myself as time goes on, basically. That's what I would do.
Yeah. You also need to stay away from sites that, if you go in, they say accept, you've got like a little notice for accepting cookies. You need to kind of stay away from those. They don't. Sites like PayPal don't overlay PayPal, obviously. Banking sites, things like that. Just kind of stay away from those.
Yeah. Great question from Anthony. He's saying, can one campaign go to multiple clients? For example, if clients want to just see examples of banners, etc.
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yeah, you can send it. You can create one amazing banner, and you had 20 clients and send it to each one. That's no problem.
Yeah. Okay, Karen is saying, what about the WordPress plugin for the clients?
Yep, you can give that if your client is using WordPress, you give them the WordPress plugins. You can install it for them. You can charge extra for that if you wanted to. If you wanted just to give it to them, you can do. You could say, "Oh, we've got this extra section. You can pay an extra $40, $50. We'll install the plugin for you and set your ads up on the WordPress site." And obviously, we've got two plugins there. We've got the interstitial ads. I'll never get that right. Interstitial ads. So you could, you've got two extra services that you can sell them there.
Okay, a good point from Omar. Omar is saying it's just an observation, but the resources link is available under client login, which is not relevant to them unless I'm missing something.
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, I'll get them to remove that. Yeah.
Good point, Omar. Thanks for that.
In fact, what we'll do is we'll create a resources link just for like the embeds and things like that. Then
we will leave these resources we can give for the clients as well. So yeah, we'll have a good think about that and get that set up.
Yeah.
Fabrice is saying the app is great. Do you plan to add offline banner to the app in the future?
Offline banners, we've already got offline banners in there. There's hundreds of them.
Yeah, there's lots in there. If you just go and do a search inside the actual templates, you'll see there's loads of offline banners in there.
Yeah, but we're adding them all the time. I think we've got about 40, 50 going in every single week. So there's lots and lots of banners.
Yeah. Mark is saying, if you remove a campaign from a client that has created an overlay, does that overlay get deleted? If I have to grant that campaign to the client, they would have to create another overlay or embed code, and the client would have to update any website or Facebook post.
Yeah, so if you remove that link stops working. So if you kind of remove the ad should stop working.
Yeah, what Mark is saying is if you remove the campaign. So I think once you remove the campaign, the client won't be able to get anything. So say somebody hasn't paid you remove the campaign from them. The actual link is still there, but they don't have access to the campaign. So you could actually say to them, "Come on, you need to pay me, otherwise I'm taking away the links," and then they can't get them.
I mean, what you need to probably do as well is if it was a link overlay, you'd have to go in and make the banner not active, so everything stops working for them.
Yeah, because if they had the URL, they could still use the link. Yeah. Gary's saying, to his point, it would be really helpful to have either a white list of domains or black list of sites that do not allow overlays. To be honest, I could probably get a couple of the team to start doing that. I could get Maruna or Petruta to do that, Rich. And we could actually get a list put together over the next few weeks, which is a good idea. Okay. Yeah, I'll take that on board, Gary. I'll task that out to some of the team. We'll get a list of sites that don't work, so to avoid them. Don't waste your time then. Paolo saying, what exactly does the WP plugin? Sorry, what exactly does the WP plugin does in terms of pixel integration?
So what it does is it allows you to. I was going to actually give you a good walkthrough of that next week, but I'll give you a quick overview now. What it does is with WordPress, if anybody uses it, it can be a real pain to kind of add banners in different sections. You can only usually add them in your post or in your side links and things like that. Well, our banners are definitely as header banners and leaderboards and all that kind of stuff look amazing at the top of the site, which is really hard in WordPress. So what the plugin does, it creates PHP shortcodes and HTML shortcodes. So, and it creates them for every single campaign, every single banner you've got in Pixel. So what you can do then is instantly on your WordPress site, just grab the shortcode and drop it wherever you want. You don't really need to edit any code. It's just drag and drop. The other one is the interstitial ads creates, again, drags all your content, all your created banners, campaigns from Pixel into your WordPress site. And what you can do is you can create interstitial ads, which means ads in between content. So if you've ever been to a site and you click on, to view more content, it'll throw a page up and it says, watch the ad for 5 seconds before carrying on to the next bit of content, etc. That's an interstitial ad, so it creates those.
Okay, we've got Anthony saying, what are some of the enhancements coming to Pixel in the immediate future?
Right, there's quite a lot. So the majority is coming into the overlay system because everybody's loving that. So what we're doing is we're kind of trying to get as much across from Pixel over the next few weeks as we can, which will be the URLs, the custom URLs. We're going to be able to obviously customize your URL. The pop-up, making the pop-up disappear, making the overlay appear after say 5 seconds, etc. Lots of, like I said, lots coming in for the overlay system. We've got a lot of banners, a lot of premium templates coming in.
Yes, we've got more of the IAB compatible rich media banners are going to be getting dropped in as well, aren't we?
Yeah, they have. They've got lots. We've got things like Venetian blinds banners coming in, and once you see these, they're like, I mean, what I saw, what my team showed me, what they were putting in, and it looks absolutely amazing. Nobody else in our space does anything like this. It's just going to kind of blow you away. We've got loads of templates and things like that coming in. That's probably take us up for the next 8 weeks, 10 weeks. So we'll probably look at, because we've got a lot of requests coming in for different features. We'll probably look at the next section of the development after that.
Yeah, and I mean, the way we kind of do it is if there's 5 or 6 requests for a certain feature and there's only 1 request for another feature, obviously the one that's had 5 or 6 requests would go up the list and we would prioritise that more. So that's the way it kind of works at the moment. Chuck is saying, if you make the list, I think you're talking about the black list and the white list, which I mentioned a minute ago, have members submit sites they come across with that problem to help others. That's a great idea. So we can add that in, no problem.
Yeah, we could do.
Gary is saying, I created an ad for my sidebar and used the iframe code in a raw HTML widget, but it failed. Was this a theme issue? Sorry.
I don't understand. So the HTML shortcode should work perfectly in a HTML widget. If it doesn't, open a support ticket. I'll have a look at that for you.
Okay, cool. Javier saying, I have the SaaS rebrander rights of ClickSit, but now ClickSit version 2 is merged with Pixel. Will I be able to rebrand ClickSit version 2? When will that be available?
It won't be available.
No. What you bought? You bought a version of Clicks where you can actually rebrand it as part of the SaaS rebrander product that we did. That is just going to stay as it is. There won't be any enhancements to that system. Sorry. Javier saying Clicks version 2 will be available in May. I can't find any info on the preferred partners site.
Yeah, because what happened is rather than build Clicks as a separate product, what we did is we bought Clicks into Pixel, so we kind of enhanced. Rather than having 2 or 3 different apps that doesn't get supported very well, we just bought one amazing app that we could pull everything into that people could use for engagement, etc.
Okay. Benji saying, can we use the overlay to sales pages or just a website? Sorry about the questions. I missed the first 20 minutes of the call. Is there a replay? Yeah, we do a replay every week, Benji, but I mean, sometimes GoToWebinar does crash, but fingers crossed, we are recording it and we put them into the membership area the following day usually. But going back to the question there, yeah, you can overlay any site. It doesn't really matter as long as it's in their terms and conditions. They don't mind you doing it. Arthur's saying, I would assume we would need to be notified somehow of any new features in Pixel. That's pretty much why these webinars are run every week. And obviously, like I've just said there, we always drop the replays into the back end anyway. But anything that's coming up, we'll always notify the guys who jump on this webinar. And obviously, we will be putting the replays into the members area so that anyone can watch them at any time. Anthony's saying, another informative webinar. Thank you, guys. Okay, no problem, Anthony. Is this webinar part of the OTO Pixel in-depth training? How can we access it later? We'll get all the details out to you, Paolo. I'll drop you emails with all that on after the webinar.
Because you're on in-depth customer, when you log into Pixel, you'll actually see it in your dashboard.
Yeah, you see more in your dashboard, Paolo, than what the people do. It would also be helpful to have a showcase of customer ads, preferably ones we could edit. Yep, that's something we'll take on board, Gary.
One thing that that our main graphics guys actually taught, not graphics guy, my developer talked about, that we could utilize something like ClickFunnels where people can share funnels with each other and they can push them into the template dashboard. And it's something we're definitely going to look at.
Yeah. That's just answered part of the question, I think. Ken is saying, how much longer for this webinar? It's usually an hour, so we actually are a couple of minutes over, but I'll try to answer all the questions. I mean, we did run a little bit late last week. It went over about 20 minutes, but to be honest, Ken, I've actually caught up with all the questions now. That was actually the last one, just about. Gary's saying, we'll just do overlays to your site, no problem. If it helps you get traffic, I don't mind. So yeah, guys, if you've got any more questions, because we are at the hour mark now, anything you want to see in the coming weeks as well, any part of Pixel you want us to go over, just either open a support ticket or just drop it into the chat.
Yeah, we've got lots more we'll be talking about in the next few weeks. So
yeah, but what we're trying to do is trying to just take one or two elements each week and focus on those, and then we'll move on to something else on the following weeks.
Yeah.
Ken is saying, I'm under some time pressure, so I may have to leave shortly. We're going to shut it down pretty soon, Ken, actually. But yeah, Gary's saying, great webinar. Thanks. No problem, Gary. Can I still buy that WordPress plugin from Karen? It's actually been pulled, isn't it? But we could.
It's a support up and we'll.
Yeah, if you just raise a support ticket, Karen, say that you were on the webinar, and then someone will be able to sort that out for you. Chuck, thanks, Richard and Paul. Great webinar as always. No problem, Chuck. Great to see you every week. Arthur, thanks for this. Yep, it's great. Good to hear that, Arthur. Yeah, we will every week. We just try to give as much value we can back to you guys that are using it, because we want to work hand in hand with you, and anything that you want enhancing, we'll try and do it.
Yeah, because next week you said you're going to show them some ads, didn't you, Paul? Go through some.
Yeah, I'm going to do some rich media stuff for you next week. So I'll walk you through how the rich media ones are working and show you how I kind of use them myself.
Okay.
I think we're actually caught up with all the questions. So thanks for turning up, everybody. Hope to see you all again next week.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So watch out for replay in the tutorial section tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah. Cheers now. Thanks a lot. Bye.